Okay. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you today about the General Product Safety Regulation, which I refer to GPSR in the following talk. And I would like to go in detail to how the GPSR will complement the medical device regulation. My name is Stefanie Vorwerk, and I've been working for MedNet EC-Web for more than 6 years. MedNet EC-Web offers the service as European authorized representative for medical devices and in vitro diagnostics. And this now for more than 20 years. Unfortunately, my colleague David, which was also announced as a speaker today, is not in the best health to travel to Düsseldorf. He's really sad that he cannot join us today. In the next half hour, I would like to introduce you to the aspects of the General Product Safety Regulation. Main aspects of this presentation will be for the demonstration of the purposes of advice and guidance. The information is based on MedNet, what thinks MedNet is accurate. It should not be taken as legal interpretation of the law. I would like to start with a short overview about the GPSR, and then I go into details for the applicable parts of the GPSR for medical device manufacturers. Often I mention only the MDR, but it's also transferable to the IVDR. At the end, we will have time for questions. So, short, I would like to give you some details about the regulation. It's 23908. It was came into force in June last year and has a transition period of 18 months. It will apply on 13th December this year, so you have exactly 1 month to think about the GPSR. It will replace the General Product Safety Directive, which is more than 20 years old now. Aim of this regulation is to improve the functioning of the internal market while providing a high level of consumer protection. The Commission would like to install a safety net for all non-food products which are not covered already by any EU product legislation. Especially the growing market of online sales on online marketplaces will be in the focus of the GPSR. Rules will be reinforced and harmonized, and the market surveillance will be more improved. Especially in case of dangerous products in hands of consumers, there will be more effective tools if this happened. The key requirement is that economic operators shall place or make available on the market only safe products. Of course, then we have to define what is a product, because a product is the scope of the GPSR. A product means any item supplied or made available which is intended for consumers or likely under reasonable foreseeable conditions to be used by consumers even if it was not intended for them. Of course, then we also need the definition of a consumer. A consumer means any natural person who acts for the purposes which are outside that person's trade, business, craft, or profession. So in short, we can only say a GPSR product is everything what you can or could be used as a natural person. For example, for your private pleasure. So everything, like your clothes, my pointer, my mobile phone, the case of my mobile phone. The crucial criterion here is also that in case consumers can buy the product, so that the sales channel is accessible by consumers for if you sell them online by Amazon or eBay or on your web homepage, then this will be automatically also a consumer product. Also, there are some exceptions in the GPSR which products are not included in the scope. So that's all pharmaceutical, feed, food, living plants and animals, animal byproducts and derived products, plant protection products, equipment for public transport like undergrounds and buses, aircraft and antiques. So if we now look more into detail for the medical devices, is there an overlap? Do we have to, do manufacturers of medical devices have to think about the GPSR? And the answer is yes, we have an overlap. So your product, if it's used by a lay person as intended use, it's automatically a consumer product. So something like a fever thermometer, all self-testing, pregnancy tests, or corona tests, or a blood pressure monitor is a product according to the GPSR. And don't forget about the sales channel. If this is accessible by consumers, if you sell it by Amazon, then it will be automatically a product according to the GPSR, and you have to be compliant with the GPSR. If we now look how the GPSR and how this is integrated in the regulatory framework, then the GPSR will complement other EU product legislation for product safety and consumer rights. It's a horizontal, I think the pointer, it's a horizontal act. So it means the horizontal approach can be derived easily by the fact that it applies to all products used by consumers. We have on the one hand products which are only regulated by the GPSR, so the GPSR applies completely. Then we have these already regulated by safety requirements like medical devices, IVDs, or cosmetics. They are also now regulated by both, by the GPSR and the MDR. But how is this regulated? So we have then the MDR, which is have specific safety requirements, and we have on top the GPSR. Only parts of this is applicable for medical devices, which are not already subject to the MDR or the IVDR. Because people from quality and regulatory affairs like mind maps, I prepared for you as an overview a mind map of the GPSR. The GPSR has 11 chapters and 44 articles and 1 annexes. It is less than the MDR with 123 articles and 17 annexes. To explain you in short what manufacturers have to do when they have only a product which is not regulated by another EU legislation, then they have now to prepare for each product according to GPSR, risk analysis and the technical documentation. Some risk which I think it's interesting to mention is that they have to look for the appearance of the product. Is it looks like foodstuff or used by children, or cybersecurity and artificial intelligence should be now analyzed and describe the risk in the technical documentation. When we now look more in the applicable parts for medical device manufacturers, then we are lucky that not all parts apply. Only the blue chapters and articles are for medical device manufacturers. If you then, I would like to go through these chapters step by step, and I start with chapter 1. And here I would like to mention the distance sales. Distance sales is much more general defined in GPSR. So products are made available on the market when the online offer is directed to one or more EU states. For the MDR it's clear, it's more specific, so that devices not placed on the market, only the digital output is offered to a natural or legal person in the union, so the device then has to be comply with MDR. To explain you what's distance sales, so distance sales is online sales, and other means of distance sales, this could be telemarketing, teleshopping, or mail order or catalog selling. So then we go to the next chapter, the one for economic operators. Here we have 3 articles which are important as a manufacturer for medical device manufacturers. Article 20, it's something about accidents, and so this is not what a medical device manufacturer has to follow, because accidents are regulated in the MDR by vigilance. However, the Article 19, which I think is really one important article, which I go into detail in the next slides. Also, will mention the Article 16 about the responsible person, because this article is mentioned in Article 19. And I think also, as a manufacturer, you should look at the obligation for manufacturers according GPSR. There are some aspects which might be also interesting for you. Then we have a look at the players in the GPSR and the MDR. 4 of them you already know from the MDR. Manufacturer, authorized representative, importer, and distributor. New ones are the responsible person, which is not existing, and the fulfillment service provider and the provider for online marketplaces. This one, the responsible person and the obligation for providers of online markets, I will explain in detail. They were already included introduced by the regulation 2019-1020 for market surveillance, but this is something which doesn't apply to MDR. And now, indirectly, there are also some roles for the medical device manufacturers. So to start with, really, really interesting is Article 19, the obligations for the offer in case of distance sales. So in future, if you have a product for consumers, or each online offer need to have a product identification. This is done by a product picture and a type on identifier. You need to have the contact details of the manufacturer with name, brand name, postal and electronic address. And if you are a non-EU manufacturer, also the responsible person has to be shown with name, address, and electronic address. And really, really important is that each online offer, the warning and the safety information has to be shown. And this in the national language of the country you want to sell your devices. So we often mention the responsible person. Who could be the responsible person? The easiest case is that you appoint your authorized representative for this task. Then he can do this. If you are a manufacturer from the EU, then really simple, you are the responsible person automatically. If you are not from the EU and you sold your devices via distance sales and by an EU importer, then your importer can be the responsible person. If you have a fulfillment service provider in the EU, then also this one can take over the responsibility of a responsible person. If you have no one of these economic operators taking over the role of a responsible person, you are not allowed to have an online offers to consumers in the EU. What are the tasks of the responsible person? So here they are really similar to the tasks of a European authorized representative. They have to verify that declaration of conformity and the technical documentation have been drawn up. They have to keep the DOC at the disposal of the competent authority if they request them. And this for the period of required by the legislation. According to GPSR, it would be 10 years, but MDR would 10 or 15 years. Also they have to ensure that the technical documentation is made available to the competent authorities if they request this. And you have to provide all information and documentation necessary to demonstrate that the product is conform with the GPSR or MDR. Also, you have to inform the competent authorities in case you believe the product in question presents a risk. You have to check if the product is complies with the technical documentation and if the labeling requirements are fulfilled. And an additional aspect, according to GPSR, that in case the manufacturer is not located in the EU and you are aware of an accident, you have to make sure that the manufacturer notify the accident by the Safety Business Gateway. Since accidents are regulated by vigilance, this I think is not important for medical device. And of course, it have to be shown in the distance sales offers. So, and further really new aspects are the obligations for providers of online marketplaces. So like what Amazon or eBay now has to do. They need to have a single point of contact for the member states' competent authorities. This will be done by the Safety Gate portal registration. I will explain you later what the Safety Gate portal is. They have to have a single point of contact for consumers to communicate with them directly and rapidly. And I think this is really interesting to see how it will be in December, when you now can contact Amazon and eBay directly. If you try it once, it's really, I think, impossible at the moment. The providers of online marketplaces need to be a product compliance system in-house, so they have internal processes for product safety in order to be comply with the GPSR. Then they have to remove or disable access to the offer of a dangerous product, or display an explicit warning with undue delay after they receive an order by the competent authority. So this have to be without undue delay, and this means 2 working days. They should use the Safety Gate portal information for detecting dangerous products on their own online marketplace. The online interface need to be GPSR compliant, so the information they have to show now according to GPSR need to be on the interface. For this, also maybe if you scroll down at Amazon, you will see that there's a new field, product and safety resources. If a trader frequently has offers of GPSR non-compliant products, then they have to suspend their service to these traders. And this should be done after a warning for a reasonable period of time. Since reasonable period of time is not defined in the GPSR, I recommend all traders that they check the contract with their provider for online marketplaces. Of course, they have to cooperate with the competent authorities, with their traders, and all relevant economic operators in case of a dangerous product. And they have to notify all consumers in case there is a product safety recall, or on this they have to be done on the online interface. Then we go to the chapter for the Safety Gate portals. There's I think these are not something what medical device manufacturers has to think of, because vigilance is regulated in EuderMed, and I hope soon in 2026 finally the tool for vigilance will be online in EuderMed. We hope. So what's the system behind this? There will be the Safety Rapid Alert System. It's for the member states and the Commission, and they can notify their dangerous product and their corrective measures taken by the authorities or the economic operators. Then there will be the Safety Business Gateway. That's for the economic operators, also to notify dangerous products and accidents caused by the product. It's already existing and will be updated soon with the GPSR. Then we have the Safety Gate portal. That's the public system where they will provide selected information on dangerous products and their corrective measures taken. Also, consumers can there notify possible unsafe products, and there will be this link for the interoperable interface so that the online marketplaces can detect possible dangerous products on their online marketplaces. This is already existing. I make a screenshot of it, and always very interesting to check how many dangerous products are in the EU. Then we have chapter 8, the right to information and to remedy. This is really, I think, one of the important chapters medical device manufacturers have to think about. The first two articles are not important, since this is also something which is already specified in the MDR. However, the article 35 to 37 is something which we didn't find in MDR, and I will explain you in more detail. But how does all apply to medical devices? We think we need more guidance. So, what are the information on product safety recalls and safety how consumers should be informed. So they have to be notified directly as all affected consumer in case of a dangerous product and in case of a product recall. That can be identified by the economic operator. This should be done without undue delay. The economic operator has to use customers' personal data if this is available to contact the affected consumer. And they should have, if they have a product registration system or customer loyalty program, also this should be used to contact the affected consumers. And then should make it possible that their customers can save their data only for the safety-related purposes. If they cannot contact all affected consumers, then they have to disseminate a clear and visible notice or safety warning through appropriate channels. This means the company's website, social media, newsletter, retail outlets, or announcement in mass media. And in future, the Commission will categorize some product as more risky. For this, you need then a product registration system. Article 37 defines the product safety recall notice, and something like this. Here, this is a template, a draft of the template for the GPSR recall notice. Manufacturers already know this from the field safety notice template, and this is the one which apply for the medical devices. But I think there are some additional aspects for a recall notice. Of the recall notice, which also apply for medical devices. So there should be shown the information when, where, and by whom the product was sold, if this is available. You need a clear description of the hazard, and by this you should avoid any elements may decreasing the consumer's perception of the risk. So terms like voluntary, precautionary, in their situation, or something that indicates that there have no accidents happened are not allowed in the recall notice. It should be clearly defined what the customer has to do. If they have to stop using the recalled product, for example, immediately. They have to show the remedies that are possible, that should be according to Article 37. Which I will explain you in the next slide. And there should be a free phone number or an interactive online service so that the affected consumers can contact them in their local language. And what are the remedies which you have to provide to the customer? So there should be an effective, cost-free and timely remedy, and at least two of the following remedies should be possible for the consumer. So repair of the recalled product, replacement of the recalled product by an adequate device, or an adequate refund of the value of the recalled product. Something like this, remedies are not regulated in the MDR, so I think this is something you should think about now. So I prepared a little checklist for you. If your medical device is also a product according to the GPSR, maybe as a homework. So do I have a medical device or an IVD that is a product used by consumers by intended use? If this is the case, it's easy. The GPSR applies for you. If this is not the case, but you sell your product by online or by other means of distance sale, then this is not the case. GPSR won't apply. If this is the case, then is this channel accessible to customers? Then GPSR applies for you. Consumers. If this is not available to consumers, then GPSR presumably not apply to you. Another checklist I prepared for you to think about if your online offers are GPSR conform. So do I have a medical device that is a GPSR product? No, then you're out of this. You don't have to think about your online offers. If this is the case, are they sold online or through other means of distance sales? No, then you don't have to think about Article 19. If this is the case, then you have to fulfill the requirements of the online offer. To mention again, the manufacturer and responsible person details have to be shown, a product picture, a product type or identifier, and the warning and the safety information in local language. And be aware, if you are a non-EU manufacturer, your responsible person, your authorized representative is, or according to MDR and IVDR, is not automatically your responsible person according to the GPSR. Some further aspects which might be interesting is so that according Article 37, you need to have a system in place to inform your consumers in case of a product safety, for example, recall. So think about how you contact all affected consumers in case you have dangerous products. Or there's one paragraph in Article 9. 9 does not really apply for you, but something which is higher regulated sometimes also apply for medical device manufacturers, so that you have a publicity available communication channel for consumers to submit complaints. I think if you have already consumer products, you will have something like this on your web page, for example, but if not, then might think about that. So to sum up, only medical devices that are also used by or could be used by consumers are affected by the GPSR. The GPSR applies only in parts to these products, which are also medical devices. You think about the requirements for online offers, they have to be fulfilled. And we need much more clarification about how really, what's behind the GPSR. So we need guidance by the Commission with guidance notes. And as manufacturer, please think about your distribution chain and the roles in the GPSR according GPSR. So, thank you very much for your attention, and I'm looking forward to your questions. And if you have deeper questions, you are always invited to come to our booth close to here to the stage and have a coffee and some chocolate. Thank you very much.